The modern half-ton truck has become a plastic, disposable toy. If you try to tow heavy with a twin-turbo V6, you are not buying a truck. You are buying a grenade with a warranty, but the V8 is not dead yet. There is a small group of engines that reject the EPA philosophy of small displacement and high stress. We call these the forever engines. They rely on cast iron, massive displacement, and mechanical simplicity. If you want a truck that will outlive you, this is the only list that matters. First, you have to understand the physics of why modern engines fail. It comes down to one word: heat. When you take a small 3-liter engine and force enough air into it to make 400 horsepower, you are creating a thermal reactor. To tow a 10,000-pound RV up a grade, the turbochargers are spinning at 200,000 revolutions per minute, compressing hot air into the cylinders. This raises the cylinder pressure to dangerous levels. To keep the engine from melting, the computer dumps extra fuel into the cylinders to cool them down. But that heat has to go somewhere. It soaks into the oil, it cooks the bearings, and it destroys the plastic connectors under the hood. A large displacement V8 does not have this problem. It makes power through leverage, not pressure. This brings us to number 1, the Godzilla. I am talking about the Ford 7.3-liter gas V8. To understand why this is the king, look at what Ford did in 2020. They looked at the failure rates of their own EcoBoost engines in heavy-duty applications, and they decided to build a dinosaur. They built a massive cast iron pushrod monster. It has no turbos to overheat. It has no complex overhead cams to fail. It has no cylinder deactivation to chew up your lifters. It is a dump truck engine disguised as a pickup engine. Ford put these in shuttle buses and box trucks that run 12 hours a day. When you put it in a consumer Super Duty, it is barely trying. Critics say it gets terrible gas mileage. They are right. It drinks gas like a 1970s muscle car. But do the math. Fuel is cheaper than a $15,000 engine replacement out of warranty. Number 2 is the budget king. If you cannot afford a brand new Ford, you need the General Motors 6.0-liter Vortec, specifically the L96 iron block versions. It is not the most powerful engine on this list, but it has one massive advantage over modern GM trucks. It does not have active fuel management. It does not have the cylinder deactivation hardware that is destroying the valve trains of the new engines. It runs on all 8 cylinders all the time. Mechanics call these the cockroaches of the truck world because you cannot kill them. The body of the Chevy might rust and the door handles might fall off, but that V8 will start every single morning for 300,000 miles. Number 3 is the million-mile legend, the Toyota 5.7-liter V8, the 3URFE. This is the engine Toyota built before they betrayed their customer base with the exploding twin-turbo V6. This engine is legendary for one reason, Victor Shepard. In 2016, he dropped off a 2007 Tundra with 1 million miles on the original engine. When Toyota engineers tore it down, the internal measurements were still within factory specifications for a new engine. That durability is physically impossible with new twin-turbo engines because the internal pressures are simply too high. If you can find a low-mileage Tundra built between 2018 and 2021, buy it. You are buying the last overbuilt Toyota before the accountants took over the engineering department. Number 4 is the modern diesel exception. Usually we tell you to avoid modern diesels because of the emission systems. But if you tow heavy, you need the torque. The only one mechanics trust is the Ford 6.7-liter Power Stroke, built after 2015. Ford designed this engine in-house. It uses a unique reverse flow design that puts the turbo in the valley of the engine, giving it instant throttle response. But the reason it makes the list is the bottom end. It uses 6 bolts per main bearing cap. That is an insane level of over-engineering. It creates a bottom end that can handle 1,000 pound-feet of torque without flexing. The emission system will eventually break, but the pistons and rods are bulletproof. Number 5 is the pre-emission Chevy. We cannot talk about forever engines without mentioning the LBZ Duramax. This engine was only produced for a short window around 2006 and 2007, but it is widely considered the best diesel engine General Motors ever built. It has the strength of the modern Duramax, without the suffocating emissions equipment of newer models. It does not use DEF fluid. It does not have a DPF filter. It is paired with the legendary Allison 1000 6-speed transmission. This combination of the LBZ engine and the Allison transmission is the gold standard for Chevy fans. If you find a rust-free example, expect to pay a premium because everyone knows it is the last honest truck Chevy ever built. Finally, number 6, the Holy Grail. If you want an engine that will outlive your children, you need the 5.9-liter Cummins, specifically the 12-valve or 24-valve models. Why is this the king of the list? Because of what it does not have. No DF fluid, no DPF filters, no EGR system. The 5.9-liter is just a tractor engine. It is loud, it vibrates, and it smells like a truck. The Dodge wrapped around it will fall apart at 200,000 miles, but the engine will still be running when the sun burns out. But having a great engine is only half the battle. We need to talk about the transmission trap. You can have a 1,000,000-mile engine, but if it is bolted to a glass transmission, your truck is useless. Modern trucks are obsessed with gear counts. 10 speeds, 8 speeds, even 9 speeds. They do this for one reason: fuel economy. By having 10 gears, the computer can keep the engine at a very low RPM on the highway to save gas. But for towing, this is a disaster. A 10-speed transmission is constantly hunting for gears. It shifts up, it shifts down. It never settles. This constant shifting builds heat, and heat kills transmissions. The trucks on our forever list use simpler, stronger transmissions. The Ford Godzilla uses the 6R140, or the heavy-duty 10-speed that is built for torque, not just mileage. The older Toyotas use a 6-speed that is known for being bulletproof. And the older Chevy trucks use the Allison 1000, which was originally designed for dump trucks and garbage trucks. When you are towing 10,000 pounds up a grade, you do not want your transmission shifting every 4 seconds. You want it to lock into gear and hold it. The older 6-speed transmissions might get worse fuel economy, but they have thicker clutch packs and simpler valve bodies. They are built to hold torque, not to chase EPA numbers. Here is the verdict. The era of the do-it-all truck is over. A truck cannot get 25 miles per gallon and tow 10,000 pounds. That is a physics impossibility. You have to choose. Do you want a computer on wheels that gets good mileage until the turbos blow up? Or do you want a tow rig? Buy the displacement, buy the iron, and ignore the gas mileage.